Okay. Share my screen. There we go. Requirements, life cycle management, and begin a new exam. Okay, first question.
Before we start, let's
Yep.
explain to people that weren't here before. We're doing practice test questions, and this is on a specific chapter in the business analysis body of knowledge. The business analysis body of knowledge we call the BABOK. It's a 511-page book. It gives us the information that we need to be able to pass the test. The book was written a little while back, and so some of these things, to answer the question properly, to get the answer correct, according to the BABOK, it's not exactly the way you're going to do it in the real world. So you just have to know what the BABOK says and be able to recognize the language or the voice of the BABOK to be able to answer the question correctly. So we are on requirements. I'm sorry, say it again.
Requirements, life cycle management, knowledge area 3.
Okay. Knowledge
Yeah,
area.
while we are on it, actually, a couple of people were asking me, is there a new version coming up for BABOK? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I have an answer for that. No, the answer is no. We are going to stay in this version for a little while longer. When the new version comes out, I can pretty much guarantee it's going to be electronically based, because one of our challenges in updating BABOK version 3 is we needed to translate it into multiple languages. Once we got it translated into multiple languages, everybody had to update their tests. Then all the training providers had to get their stuff set up for the new version. Consider what's going to happen whenever they make the change. Everybody's got it, has this huge domino effect of impact. So we're going to stay with version 3 for a little while longer. I'm going to say at least a year. And then we're going to go to a new version, which is updated. They're working on accepting corrections, people giving suggestions on this is not right in version 3. And so they're working on that, and then we're going to work on making it more modern. But for right now, you're safe studying version 3 and taking your test within the next year.
Cool. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, so first question. Mary, while analyzing the requirements for a new procurement system, finds that if the preferred supplier list is set up in the new system, it will be easier to enter a purchase. What kind of requirements dependency is she looking at? Subset, effort, necessity, or depends?
Be as a boy, effort.
Okay, we have effort. We have 2 votes for effort.
Agreed.
Anyone else? Sorry, Mohan. What did you say?
I said agreed with the option B.
As in depends?
No, it is with the B as a boy, effort.
Okay, so 3 votes for B.
Let's see.
I'll lock it. Yay! It's a great start. Which of the following is not a guideline or tool for the task of prioritize requirements? Change strategy, domain knowledge, business constraints, and or system architecture.
Maybe D as a dog, system architecture.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yes, system architect will give the solution to the BA. So I agree the D. D as a dog.
Okay, I hear 3 votes for D. Anyone else is saying anything else?
I go with the last option too.
Votes. Let's see the answer. Wow. Great going.
But the reason let's go back. The reason that is the right answer is systems architecture is not listed as a guideline or tool. It's not in that very brief list. Otherwise, System architecture is very important for prioritization, but according to the BABOK, it is not a guideline or tool. That's why it's the right answer.
And value added to you, Tia, a system architect, they will be in a position to give the solution when it has the complex situation or when it is a criticality position in the system or in the business line. So a BA will approach the system architect to fix the complexity that will not comes into the guidelines or something else which has been required over here. They are only in the rescue for the complexity over area. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I appreciate your logic. It is, I think it's correct. In as far as prioritizing requirements, however, sometimes you have to consider the system architecture needing to be updated. The changes that they're making in system architecture, which may change your prioritization of requirements in the real world. However, in the BABOK, system architecture is not listed as under the heading of guideline or tool, and that's what the question answers asks for very specifically, which one is not a guideline or tool. So we know it has to be in that one heading and under that one category in the BABOK. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you.
Okay. What is the purpose of maintaining requirements? To build a metrics to help ensure testing is performed effectively, to ensure organizational assets are updated with requirements metrics, to build a repository of requirements that will ensure requirements are aligned to one another and to manage the effects of change on them, to ensure the accuracy and consistency of requirements throughout the requirements lifecycle, and to support the reuse of requirements.
Last option, D as a dog.
I vote for D as a dog too.
Why do you like that answer, guys?
Yeah, it's very quick.
It's about reuse, maintaining requirements about reuse, and it is what option D says.
Yeah, and also that word, consistency. Yeah,
Okay.
and accuracy.
Anyone else feels like any other option?
C is similar to the D, but I'm not sure that C also will be a right answer. C is similar to the D because maintenance of requirements, it is to be with the ensure requirements all are aligned to one another and to manage the effect of changes on time. That is also which has been the main principle of the preparing BRD, I mean business requirements documents. So, but it is similar to D, but I'm not sure the C as cat is a correct or not.
Okay. Now I have 2 votes for D, 1 vote for C. Or I should say half vote for C and 2.5 votes for D.
Well,
I
we've
think
got 2 votes for
B
D.
or C is throwing me off because you don't build a repository for requirements.
Exactly.
And I think that's the part that I'm like, no, it's D. It looks like D.
Let's check
Yeah.
it. Okay, that's right.
Very good.
Great. Okay, let's check why C is not a right answer. This is the purpose of trace requirements task.
It's a different requirements task that
Yes.
it looks familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
it
it's not
does.
the right purpose for this one. So maintaining requirements is one of the tasks in this knowledge area, and each task has its own purpose. That's the definitions that we're looking at.
They're also saying the word repository is also a distractor mean to sound official.
It does, doesn't it? They didn't fool
Absolutely.
us. Wait, before you hit next, go back down and hit D, or it's going to change our score. I mean, that's what we did check. And then hit next.
You are working on a team that is adding a new line of insurance to company's claim system. Conflicts have arisen among many of the stakeholders as a result of different interpretations of requirements for the new line as well as conflicting values placed on their value. Which stakeholder would you recommend to facilitate communication between stakeholders to resolve the areas of conflicts so that each group has an improved appreciation for the needs of the others? Human resources, project manager, business analyst, or sponsor? Oh my God, this question is really confusing.
So
Yeah, no
Sponsor.
position we are on.
the question really is, which stakeholder would you recommend facilitate communications in this situation?
Project
I would say
manager.
BA because we're a facilitator.
Sponsor.
Why do you like sponsor better than BA?
Sponsor is the one who has been as a owner of the particular project, who requires that idea, who requires that changes in the software. So if there is a conflict between the stakeholder, BA can approach the sponsor to get a conclusion where within the common sponsor is nothing but a common man between two stakeholders. So he is the one who has providing the business to the vendor, and he is the one who requires which facilitation of the requirements they needed.
I think at this stage, BA, if it's not working, then it's gonna escalate to sponsor.
Yeah, I think the BA like facilitates the right people in the meeting, and then they obviously don't decide on what the outcome is, but some other stakeholder could. But this is about which stakeholder recommend facilitating communication. So I think it would be the BA in this scenario.
I'm pretty sure it's not going to be HR.
100% not, because I haven't seen HR in at least 2 knowledge areas as a stakeholder.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with
Let's check out.
C.
And it
You are
is
right.
correct.
Yes. Yay. We are on a roll today. Okay. Which of the following stakeholders are typically involved in reviewing and approving requirements? Domain SME, end user, and sponsor. Domain SME, implementation SME, tester. Domain SME, customer, sponsor. Domain SME, sponsor, project manager. Reviewing and approving requirements.
D.
Is it B or D?
D.
Okay. Any more votes?
I think we had the same last time, no? This is very similar question, and there was no project manager to approve requirements.
Yeah, I don't think it's a project manager. In this case, I'm thinking implementation SME, but then do they really get
But
the
sponsor
chance to
should be
approve?
involved.
I'm hesitating between A and C.
Yeah, me
So-
too. Maybe customer C, I vote for C. Because end user not always approving the requirements.
Yeah,
Okay,
we are working
wanna-
for the customer. Yeah, C.
I want to draw y'all's attention to this. I'm not saying you're wrong, but this question tells us that we're talking about the task approve requirements. So the stakeholder list in the task approve requirements is what we need to be aware of.
Okay, so I go with A.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just want to, recently it was brought to my attention that every time you read a question, you have to say which task, which knowledge area is this in relation to, and then it shortens down your reasoning of which one the best answer is.
I will go with C. as a
I'm
candidate.
torn between A and C.
I'd
And
go with
Yeah,
B.
me too.
The reason I'm torn is because I'm thinking about who are the internal stakeholders and who are the external stakeholders. So it's a toss between end user and customer, and that's what I'm just thinking about.
Abigail,
Yeah,
your vote
and
can be a
So I
tiebreaker
think
here because
end
I have one vote
user,
for every option.
end user is internal. So you would expect them to be part and parcel of approving requirements, and the customer would be external. I think I might go
But
for A.
Customers can approve requirements
Oh,
too.
come with A, yeah. This is the, yeah, actually, this is the reason I was thinking that customer may not be able to approve the requirement because it's
Okay,
external. So
let's
A.
find out.
Let's find out.
Oh my
It is C.
gosh.
Ah,
Give me
customer
customer.
first. Shoot.
So it says
Users.
end users may review requirements but are not cited as giving approval, which is what the question is asking. So it's the domain SME, customer, and sponsor. So the whole list of this is domain SME, customer, end user, operational support, project manager, regulator, sponsor, and tester for approved requirements. I'm sorry, that's not true. It's domain SME, customer, end user, operational support. It's the same thing. Okay, it's all everything I said is
lost. I'm lost.
implementation SME.
I'm lost there. I'm not
I
following what you're
apologize.
saying.
I'm going to give you the list in the chat. That way I can edit it.
Is that
I
in the
can.
bubble?
I have Babok opened here, so I
Yeah,
can
please. Yeah, let's have a look at that.
approve requirements and stakeholder list. There it is. Customer, domain SME, end user, operational support, project manager, regulator, sponsor, and tester.
Yeah, and
Can
it's
you show the
user
question?
in review, but not in approval. You see, it says end user may be involved in review, validation, prioritization.
Right.
Yeah.
But not, our question was
But
to
on the,
approve.
no, not on the approval. May
It was
review and
only-
validate and prioritize the requirements. Whereas customer is in both reviewing and approving the requirements.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that explains it.
Well, the explanation was that this is a picky question, but the actual test is going to be picky too. I have been told that watermark questions are much harder than the real test. So if you can make a good score on this, you're going to pass the test.
Let's see what we are scoring this test. I'm hoping we will score at least 70%.
That's a goal.
Effectively manage requirements throughout all phases of change initiative. The business analyst will complete which of these tasks? Define the business need, define goals and objectives, validate requirements, define change strategy, and scope the solution space. Second is trace requirements, maintain requirements for reuse, define requirements architecture, assess requirements changes, and approve requirements. Next is trace requirements, maintain requirements for reuse, prioritize requirements, assess requirements changes, and approve the requirements. And the last one is trace requirements, maintain requirements for reuse, prioritize requirements, assess risk, and approve requirements.
C. As a cat.
Okay.
So this question is asking, what are the tasks in this knowledge area?
I think they're missing assess risk, this C. And D has assess risk, but doesn't have approve. No, sorry, it has approve. Requirements
It
change.
has.
Yeah, there's only one change. In C, we have assess requirements changes. In D, we have
Yeah.
assess risk. That's the only difference.
So I agree with C.
Yeah, I'll go with C too.
Votes for C. Anyone else? Any other option?
I'll check it.
Okay.
We're right. Hey.
See, that's what the confidence is. We are right, no matter what.
We are.
Approval of requirements and designs may be formal or informal. Which of the following refer to requirements that have been approved? WBS, requirements approved, statement of work approved, milestone approved.
B as a boy, requirements approved.
It's a very simple question, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
kind of output of the task, no?
Yeah.
I think it is output for this task,
Yes.
approval of requirements.
Yeah, that's why for me it was easier to remember all these outputs because it says almost the same word, just approved or prioritized, you know.
Mhm.
Okay, let's check it. Yay! I think we are gonna cross 70% today.
I think we
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. When does the requirements life cycle end? When all the requirements have been approved and solution is deployed, when the solution and requirements that represent it are retired, when the solution is retired and any eligible requirements are made reusable, when the solution is retired and its associated requirements are archived.
B as a boy.
IB, Oksana.
Yeah, B.
Because I just remember it from a box, so
Oh, good.
yeah, I was reading
definitely
many
good.
times, so I hope I am not wrong.
Okay, Margie, you are also saying B?
Yes.
Anyone else has any other option in mind? Let's check it. Wow, you girls are on a roll today. You have been asked to facilitate a workshop to rank requirements to determine their relative importance to stakeholders. Prior to the workshop, you prepare the understanding, regulatory status, contractual obligations, and business policies that may define priorities. Which of the following guidelines are you using? Business constraints, governance approach, business assumptions, change strategy.
Maybe B as a boy, governance approach.
I agree with that.
Okay, 2 votes for B.
Yeah, we need to, yeah, prioritize. Yes, yes, B as a boy.
Okay, in this question, I feel it's A, but let's check it.
Let's find out. Oh, you
Oh,
are right.
you're right.
Oh,
Perfect.
constraint.
The governance
Why?
approach outlines the approach for prioritizing requirements.
And we need that, right?
Yeah.
I thought that we
Oh.
need to prioritize.
We do, but because it has contractual obligations and business policies, I stopped hearing it after regulatory statutes.
And I remember somewhere in knowledge area 1, I have read that these things, regulatory, contractual obligations, business policies, these comes under constraints.
Oh.
So
Oh,
business
okay.
constraints are one of the guidelines and tools in this task.
That's strange because it asks us to determine relative importance to stakeholders, and relative importance is like prioritization, but yeah, just quite, I don't know, strange question.
It's a very tricky question, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move forward. The following statements are true about obtaining agreement and approval of requirements and designs for business analysis work to continue and or solution construction to proceed. Which one is not true? Approval may confirm that stakeholders believe that sufficient value will be created for the organization to justify investment in a solution. Business analysts are responsible for ensuring that the stakeholders will, with approval authority, understand and accept the requirements. Business analysts obtain approval by reviewing the requirements or changes to requirements with the accountable individuals or groups and requesting they approve, indicate their agreement with the solution or design described. Complete agreement is necessary for a successful change, but if there's a lack of agreement, the associated risks are to be identified and managed accordingly.
So what task are we talking about here, guys?
Approval requirements.
Approval of requirements and designs.
Yeah, and design.
They're saying which is not true.
I think D, because even approved requirements doesn't mean success of the project, right? That's why I think it's D as a dog.
Yeah, D doesn't make sense really to me. So I go with D as a dog too.
2 votes for D. Any more votes? Let's check it out. And you guys are right. Wow. Complete agreement may not be necessary for a successful change. Next question. Jonathan obtained sign-off on his requirements from 3 stakeholders. One of those stakeholders is the regulator. What should Jonathan discuss with this stakeholder? Organization value, company legal and regulatory standards for sign-off, implementation concerns, project risk, and the review approval process.
B as a boy.
Yeah, Margie was smiling. She was like, I already know the answer for this one.
Oh, it's funny, you know, regulation and it's all there.
Okay,
Yeah,
3
easy
votes for
question.
B. Let's check. There we go. It's right again. 3 of the following statements are inaccurate about prioritization. Which one is accurate? Okay. Stakeholders are sometimes rigid and priorities are unlikely to shift as the context evolves and as more information becomes available. Prioritization is an assessment of absolute value. Each stakeholder may value something different. Stakeholders may intentionally indicate priority to influence the result to their desired outcome. Once the implementation team has provided the cost of each requirement, requirements are baselined and prioritization is complete. They are saying 3 of them are inaccurate and 1 is accurate about prioritization. Which one sounds accurate?
I think C as a cat.
Why do you think it's a C, Oksana?
Because every stakeholders is interested to like pursue their desired outcome, right? And that's why I don't know.
Yeah, I go with C because the rest doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, the rest is not real.
Let's check it. It is C. Wow. Yeah,
Good job.
I'm wrong. Today we are going to cross 90%.
We might do it.
I hope.
A junior business analyst in an initiative has been asked to evaluate the implications of proposed changes to requirements and designs. She approaches you for advice on useful tool for performing impact analysis. Which tool would you recommend in response? McKinsey 7S model, mind maps, change strategy, traceability.
So this is a tool or
Yeah,
technique?
tool. It's a tool for impact analysis. I think it will be mentioned somewhere
Mind
in
maps is
guidelines and
technique.
tools.
Sorry.
Sorry, Oksana, go ahead, please.
As mind maps is technique, right? So maybe we can exclude this because it asked about a tool,
Cool.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can
And
exclude it.
McKinsey 7.5, I have no idea what does it mean.
Yeah, it's not in BABA.
For me,
Okay, now-
traceability doesn't sound too, because traceability, trace requirements, right? Traceability matrix, but just word traceability doesn't sound for this. I think maybe change strategy for C, but not sure for 100%, maybe for 50.
Yeah, we are down only
Performing
for 2 options
impact.
now.
Impact.
Yeah.
Impact. Yeah, it's similar to change strategy. I go with C too. Impact change. Oh,
Traceability.
D.
Oh,
Change
really?
strategy will not assist in impact analysis. Traceability is a useful tool for performing impact analysis.
But just traceability, it doesn't say traceability analysis or something like this. Very strange.
It is a strange. Okay. Let's move to next one. Which of the following statements is most applicable to the purpose of the approved requirements task in the requirements lifecycle management knowledge area? Obtaining agreement on requirements and designs and for solutioning to continue for the project. Communicating all email chains with stakeholders. Getting the requirements completed and approved with little to no rework. Communicating requirements approvals to business customers. Purpose of approved requirements task.
So we're looking at the one task and under that, the heading of purpose.
Yeah. Oh, I love that silence.
A maybe?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not C.
Yes.
Yeah,
Completed.
definitely not C.
I don't like C. And
we
communicating all
can-
email chains with stakeholders doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I think we can remove the B as well because it doesn't sound like the BABOK
Right.
terminology and BABOK kind of definitions.
I go with A too.
Okay, 2 votes for A. Thea, do you have any vote on this one? Let's check it. You're right. The purpose of approved requirements is to obtain agreement and approval of requirements for business analysis work to continue. Great. Which technique would a business analyst use to identify business rules that may be similar across the enterprise in order to facilitate reuse? Data flow diagrams, data modeling, business rules analysis, enterprise analysis. So they are saying technique, and I think these all are technique. Enterprise analysis is not a technique.
No.
I think C as a cat, because we want to identify business rules and technique business rules analysis.
Yeah, it's strange. It seems that it's obvious, but yeah, we go with C. I go with C too.
I think it's data modeling.
Really?
Why do
I
you
just
like that
know
one?
that when you're looking at a data model, sometimes you can determine the type of business routes that will help with your analysis. But C is throwing me off because I can't remember, is that an actual technique?
C is an actual technique that I know, business rules analysis.
It's a tricky one.
It is. So shall I lock B or shall I lock C? Come on, it's $1 million question.
C. C.
Okay. It is correct. Sometimes questions are so easy that we are like, no, this cannot be that easy.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the most mistakes come from this. This could not be true.
Okay. Which of the following stakeholders will be more focused on prioritization being consistent with legal and regulatory constraints? Implementation SME, regulator, project manager, or sponsor?
Regulator.
It's just self-explanatory.
Okay,
I
simple enough.
support that answer.
Nice. The XYG organization utilizes a change strategy for assessing requirements changes. What is the purpose of the change strategy for assessing requirement changes? A change strategy describes legislative rules or regulation that must be followed. Change strategy supplies information to assist in managing stakeholder consensus regarding the needs of all the stakeholders concerning a potential change. Change strategy describes the purpose and context for changes and identifies the critical components for change. Change strategy provides guidance regarding the change control and decision-making processes.
C as a cat.
Why C? It was a very quick one.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's all right. Take your time.
Yeah, I need to put my charger.
I'm pretty sure it's not B because that's part of the elicitation process.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's not A as well because legislative rules and regulation for change strategy, it is a bit weird of a combination.
Right?
Yeah.
I think this is the C is kind of definition of strategy. You need purpose and you need the critical components.
Yeah, I go with C too.
2 votes for C.
So we're talking the task assess requirements change.
Yeah, assess requirement changes. They are saying that it used the change strategy. What is the purpose of change strategy
So
in this task? Yeah.
for the people that aren't as familiar with the BABOK, there's only 5 tasks here, and we're looking for under the heading of purpose for that one task.
Change strategy may be a guideline or tool for other tasks as well, but in this question, they are asking for assessing requirements change for this task. What does change strategy do? What is the purpose of this guideline or tool?
I agree with C.
Okay, when you know, you know.
I could be wrong.
See,
Marzi,
I
you
said
right.
when you know, you know.
Marzi, you rock.
Thank you.
Which of the following is an invalid statement about the approval of requirements? Approval of requirements and designs may be formal or informal. Predictive approaches typically perform approvals at the end of the phase or during planned change control meetings. Adaptive approaches typically approve requirements just before construction and implementation of a solution begins. Project managers obtain approval by reviewing the requirements or changes to requirements with the accountable individuals. They are asking invalid
As a
statement.
dog.
Sorry, Oksana, which option did you say?
Sorry, D as a dog.
Okay. Any other option?
I'm hesitating between C and D, the last two options. I don't know. C is kind of,
Okay.
If you go adaptive approach is iterate, right? So you approve before the next iteration starts, right? So for me, it's a valid statement.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
oh, we need to invalid. Okay, yeah. I go with the last option. Yeah. It's not project manager. Yeah.
Let's check the answer.
You're right.
Absolutely. You have received a request to change some key requirements on a project. What should you do before you assess the impact of the change? Ensure the change request traces back to business need and aligns with the overall strategy. Analyze the impact of the change. Determine the cost of the change. Determine the specific stakeholders who will implement the change.
A.
A.
Yeah, A.
He votes for A. I'm not going to drag it more. Right.
Absolutely.
See, until now we are on the question 20. We have only given 3 wrong answers. Rest everything was right. Wow.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Megan is a business analyst for organization and she's coaching Lindsay, a new business analyst, on the importance of identifying and recording key dependencies between requirements. Which one of the following is the primary reason why key dependencies should be identified and recorded? To help achieve efficiency by implementing related requirements at the same time, to determine who owns the requirements in the project lifecycle, to identify the relative risk of each requirement, to identify the benefit of each requirement.
C, I think.
Maybe A. Because
Okay, A is also.
I think A because we depends. My God, I have to say it. When we try to identify relationship, there is depends, efforts, necessity, and something else. So if it is effort, maybe it's easier to implement, right? And to derive there is dependencies. So I think A.
Yeah, I'm hesitating between A and C right now because C also talk about relative risk. So when we identify like dependencies, we are thinking about relative risk as well.
It is talking about key dependencies.
Yeah, I'm thinking C as well.
Assess risk, it's not the purpose of this chapter, right? I think it's next one for strategy analysis. So that's why I didn't go with this option.
Okay. But if it's on the exam, we don't like it's the total board. So
we won't be knowing that which question is from which knowledge area and from where. Okay, I have 2 votes for C, 1 vote for A. Let's check what is the answer. A is the answer. C is incorrect. Yeah, Thea, please go ahead.
Chapter 5. I said chapter 5. That's true.
Yeah, it is in the chapter 5. And see, if you'll see this is also in chapter 5 and 7 both. Chapter 5 is requirements lifecycle management, knowledge area 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
So somehow this question is from our knowledge area, which we are doing.
Yeah, it's for trace requirements.
Great. Ed is a new business analyst working on the requirements for a large initiative to expand the functionality of an insurance product at his company. A senior BA told Ed that he should use a requirements management tool to trace the requirements for this effort. To make using the complexity of a requirements management tool worthwhile, what can be implied from the senior business analyst suggestion? There are multiple relationships between requirements on this project. There are relatively few requirements for Ed's project. Poorly defined requirements. The number of requirements are quite extensive.
Maybe
think
D
the
as a
multiple,
dog.
Margie is saying D. James, what did you say?
I think A, maybe because you're managing multiple relationships, because the requirements can have multiple relationships.
I think it is A on this one. I
Yeah.
am thinking it is A.
Yeah, I chose first D because it said large initiative, but it shouldn't be a problem like if it's not complex. So complexity is, yeah, multiple relationship. Yeah, I go with A too.
Okay. Let's check it. Oh no, it is D. It's an invented answer. Okay. Although it is not required, tracing a large number of requirements may be unmanageable with a manual approach. Okay.
Okay.
Which of the following is not a consideration in the trace requirements task? Relationships, traceability repository, depends, level of formality.
Level of formality, I can't remember that.
I think
Was
they
it
are
in the
talking
book?
about the elements of trace requirements task. Which is not an element.
Maybe, I don't know, it depends.
Go ahead, say it.
Maybe depends, no, because depends, it's like a relationship, but it's not particular subtask.
Okay, one vote for C, one vote for D.
It's
Who's
really
gonna...
a tricky question.
It is. Who's going to do the tiebreaker or give us a new option? I also feel like depends is like a sub element of relationships.
Or D as a dog, maybe. I just doubt between C and D.
Or come with D.
I think that level of formality, traceability, repository, and relationships are the headings of the sections underneath it. And depends is the only one that's different. It is listed, but it's not one of the sections. It's like a subsection. You're correct.
Yeah, I think depends is a subsection of relationships.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, shoot.
It's not separate as a subtask.
Okay, let's check it with C. This is a
Oh.
type of relationship versus an element of tracing requirements. Okay, quite tricky. Cindy was working on requirements dependencies and prioritization. Requirement 5.1.2 was dependent on requirement 5.1. Requirement 5.1 was dependent on 3. 3 was given a priority of medium, and requirement 5.1 was given a priority of low. A new requirement 7 was added, and it was determined that requirements 5.1 was actually dependent on 7. Requirement 7 was given a priority of high, and the priority of 5.1 was changed to medium. What was the deciding factor to change the priority of requirement 5.1? Oh my God.
That's a lot of numbers.
I love that mind. Who wrote that question? He was or she was very
See,
interesting.
So
like
the
most
way
of the
to
things
answer
are
this,
irrelevant here. Like 3 is completely irrelevant. 5.12 is irrelevant. Last, they are talking about only 5.1 and 7. Maybe I'm
that's
wrong.
the way to answer this question is to look at what happened to 7 and what was the result that happened to 5.1, and then you can look at the answer and figure out what was the difference. 5.1 is not a subset, right? They're related, but
Basically,
it's not a subset.
5.1 was low and then it moved to medium. They are asking what was the deciding factor to move it from low to medium.
I
It
think
moved from
necessity
low to
or
medium
effort.
because 7 was given a priority of high.
So value. The value is like what we looking for.
Okay.
But we are talking about dependency. In dependency, we have necessity, effort, derive, and something else. I don't remember value.
No, I mean that's the main job of business analyst. The requirements is, we are going to add value. So I'm not looking at all these numbers. I get the idea that this requirement came from low to medium. So there is something because it's adding more value.
Yeah, but we are talking about dependency. Why we reprioritize, because it effort or necessity, I think. But maybe I will go with necessity.
Okay.
1 vote for necessity, 1 vote for value. Tiebreaker or a new option. Is subset also a dependency relationship? I'm not sure. Necessity, I know, is.
Value, I don't remember value is type of relationship.
These two are definitely there, effort and necessity. Okay, nobody is giving me tiebreaker. So should I play a game and go with the first option, A or C?
Yeah, go with A, because I chose based on my like logic and
Yeah, what we do in the real world.
yeah.
Look at that.
My logic. Finally, my logic works.
The inclusion of requirement 7 made 5.1 more desirable and therefore a higher priority. 7 had greater value than 3. And why this is incorrect? Dependency showed the necessity, but the value shows why it became more important.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It was quite tricky one. I needed whole mind map. To maintain stakeholder support for the solution, consensus among stakeholders is usually sought prior to requesting approval for requirements. Which of the following stakeholders would you most closely work with to play an active role in reviewing and approving requirements and designs to ensure needs are met? Consultant, tester, regulator, customer.
Customer.
Yeah, customer.
Customer.
Okay, I'm not waiting. Right, yay. Last question. Glenn is on project team that has finalized requirements and designs. As of late, several change requests have been received regarding the designs. Glenn is consulted for establishing impact of proposed changes. What type of stakeholders is Glenn? Domain SME, project manager, tester, operational support.
Yeah.
Which one?
B as boy. Project manager.
Yeah, me too. Agree the same.
Okay, 2 votes for B. Anyone else is thinking something different?
I have doubts between A and D as a dog. I think I will go with A.
I would go with A.
Oh, really?
Okay, 2 votes for A, 2 votes for B.
One of the
Tiebreaker.
reasons I want to go for A is because it's talking about establishing the impact of the proposed change. So here's my problem. If it's establishing impact on the application, that's one thing. If it's establishing impact on the project, that would be the project manager. But he's on the team that's finalizing requirements and designs. Ugh. I think I would go for A.
Okay, let's check A.
Oh,
Actually,
Oh
a
my
tester.
goodness.
Wow.
oh, totally messed that one up. So sorry.
This scenario is describing the assess requirement change task. Testers are consulted because here is the word consulted.
Here's the word. That's what we
shoot.
missed.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Testers are consulted for
I didn't
changes.
mind that word consultant because it is a final ultimate people project manager has to approve. That's the thing we say the project manager.
Right. Glenn does not make the decisions. He's being consulted. So what's our score?
Oh.
Oh, could I ask a huge favor? Can we go back to the question 23?
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about it. Because it was a toss-up between value and option A. Question 23.
Question 23.
Yeah. What's the reason why necessity? I'm just curious to know why necessity was wrong.
Oh.
Let me check the exam history. This is today,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
We can't go back once we've
Yeah, we can go back, but
Try previous.
show all explanations for this question. How do I go to 23?
I think you just have to hit next. Maybe it'll work. Go for it. Maybe that'll work.
Here it is.
Yay. Okay.
Perfect.
So necessity was wrong because it showed that the value shows why it became more important. Okay, that doesn't tell me much, but
But it is what it is.
yeah. I just kept thinking about it, so I missed the last 2 questions because I just kept thinking about it. It's a very
This
tricky
question
one.
was actually very tricky, and we have to, we need notepad with us when we are doing the exam, because questions like this, we definitely need notebook that what is going on.
Yeah.
Can we check in the webbook what because there is reference 501 and 5 next one, just to see what is there, because it refers us to the book.
5.1 will be really on top.
Right there.
1.4.2. Okay, here it is. Relationships.
There's no value in relationship.
It is necessity, right? Maybe the question is wrong, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's no value at all, right? And there
No,
is
they are saying the dependency showed the necessity, but why we have changed it to from low to medium, because the value of that particular requirement.
okay. Like it's more for the prioritization value, maybe then come from.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
let's
seems
check
like
this
because
one out first.
the value was given
5.0.1.
a higher rating, I guess.
Says C.
Weird thing is the word value is not anywhere in there except for under level of formality. And that doesn't make any sense in elements. So it has to be not talking about a word out of the Babok. It's talking about the concept of prioritization. How much this one has more value to you than this one. So because 7 was brought up to a high, the things that were related to it were automatically brought up a step as well. From
Yeah.
lower to medium.
That was one tricky one, extremely tricky
And this is
question.
one of those things that you're not going to get if you just study the Babok all by itself. You have to have these conversations, and you guys got the conversation nobody else got. Congratulations.
72% is a very good score. Wow.
It's pretty darn
Yeah.
good. So let's move on to the next knowledge area next time.
Sure.
Okay.
It's time.
After 2 weeks, we'll be doing the questions from strategy analysis.
Right. That's on August 1st.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
First. Start the August month with a good score. Let's start with 80%.
Yeah.
And guys, if y'all know anyone else who would benefit from participating, invite them in. I always believe that if you find something good, you want to let people know so that they can get it too.
Sure.
And we have everything recorded.
Yes, everything is recorded. It will be available on YouTube channel.
So they can catch up and they can go over it as many times as they want, and they can reach out to any of us. And we're happy to explain things or help them with concepts.
Thank you.
One last thing. Nominations for BA of the year are closing at the end of this month. If you have a BA that has made your life better, volunteered for something, taught you something, made your project better, whatever, go ahead and nominate them.
Yep. Volunteer nominations
In
are
Ireland
open.
or somewhere else?
I'm sorry, say that again.
It should be in Ireland or somewhere else.
They can be anywhere in the world. If they are volunteering with the IIBA, if they've helped you, let the IIBA know.
Great. I will think about.
That would be great.
Yep. I am sharing the link of the nomination form as well, if you guys find it very difficult.
Thank you.
Here is the link.
It takes less than 5 minutes to let somebody know that they impacted your life positively.
2 to
And that
3
may be
minutes,
the
that's it.
only time anybody ever says thank you to them.
That's perfect.
Yep. And we will see you guys on 1st of August with new knowledge area.
Yep.
Sure.
And
See
we're
you
gonna
and
rock
take
it.
care.
Take care,
See
guys.
y'all later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening, good
Bye,
day.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.